Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. My name is Adam Narreau, and in this video, I want to go over the cost to purchase a $450,000 home in the year 2022. Let's go. All right, so how did I come up with the $450,000 price point? As you can see here in the Victor Valley area, in the three main cities, which are Apple Valley, Victorville, and Hesperia, we have an average of just under $430,000, and then in Hesperia, we're just under $450,000. So I've decided to go with the higher price point, so that way you can have an idea of how much it's going to cost if you do go up to the $450,000 price point, or if you go over, you can always adjust because I have the percentages of the numbers that you should calculate for when buying a home in the year 2020. All right, so the first thing that we're going to have to deal with is going to be the down payment. Now, with a VA loan and a USDA loan, the down payment, the lowest down payment you can get away with is actually $0 down. However, with these two loans, there are stipulations to qualify for them. With a VA loan, you're going to have to be a veteran or the spouse of a veteran. I'll have more information in the description to show you how you can qualify for a VA loan. And then with a USDA loan, you're going to have to purchase your home in a rural area. So I'll also have information on that down in the description, so you can check that out to see what's going to qualify for a rural area. And next, for the two most popular loans that you're probably going to qualify for, one being an FHA loan and the other being a conventional loan. So for an FHA loan, the lowest you can get away with for a down payment is going to be 3.5%. Now, on a $450,000 house, it's going to be $15,750. And for a conventional loan, the lowest you can get away with is actually 3% down. However, in most cases, it's typically going to be 5%. So in this video, we're going to go with the 5% for the down payment. And on a $450,000 house, it's going to be $22,500. Okay, so the next thing I want to talk about is going to be an earnest money deposit. Now, what an earnest money deposit is, it's basically showing the seller that you as the buyer also has skin in the game during this home buying process. So typically an earnest money deposit is 1% of the purchase price. So in this case, for a $450,000 house, we're looking at around $450, $4,500. But let's just round it up to $5,000 just to keep whole numbers going. So $450,000 house, plan on putting around $5,000 as an earnest money deposit. And keep in mind, this does go towards your down payment. So it's not additional money that you have to come up with on top of your down payment. If that makes sense, hit the like button. Okay, so the next thing we want to budget for is going to be a home inspection. Typically, I tell my buyers to budget for around $500 for the home inspection. So this price can go up, it could also go down. So $500 is a safe number. Now, some things that can contribute to having that price go up or down are going to be 1, the size of the home, 2, the location, and then 3, how soon do you need the inspection done? If you need it done ASAP, that could obviously, cost more since schedules are going to have to be moved around. But don't worry about that. I would say typically $500 should be enough for a home inspection. Next up, we want to budget for an appraisal. So if you're having any type of financing on the home, you're going to need an appraisal done. So VA, USDA, FHA, conventional, any type of financing, you're going to need an appraisal. Unless you're buying the home cash, then you will not need an appraisal done. So I typically tell my buyers to budget for around $600 for an appraisal. So what the appraisal is doing is basically showing the bank that in this case, the $450,000 house that we're wanting to purchase is worth at least $450,000, or it could be more. If it's worth more, then in that case, if you're the buyer, then you've already bought the home with equity in it. Now, if the appraisal comes back lower, then at that point, there's going to be negotiations done with the seller. And at that point, we want to make it a win-win situation for both the buyer and the seller. So the last thing I want to go over is going to be closing costs. Now, typically closing costs are around 3% of the purchase price. So in this case, for a $450,000 home, we're looking at around $13,500 in closing costs. So as a buyer, be prepared to pay your own closing costs. Now, we are moving out of a seller's market into a more neutral market. And typically in the Victor Valley area, buyers do ask sellers to cover the closing costs. However, since we are in the early stages of that shift, As a buyer, I don't want you to not budget for the closing costs. So even though we are shifting out of a seller's market, still be prepared to pay for your own closing costs. So keep that in mind, $13,500 to purchase, for the closing costs to purchase a $450,000 house. All right, so let's wrap this up. What is it gonna cost total to purchase a home in 2022 for a $450,000 house? So here we go, let's break it down. Total for a VA loan, it's gonna cost you around $19,600. Now keep in mind with a VA loan, this is something that I didn't bring up in the video. I just don't wanna confuse you, but there is a funding fee. So in this case, a funding fee for a VA loan for a $450,000 house is gonna be an additional $10,350. That's with a zero down payment. But there are stipulations to where you might not have to pay a funding fee. So if you don't have to pay the funding fee, it is $19,600, and with the funding fee, you're right under $30,000. Next, USDA, we're looking at $19,600. So that's also with the zero down payment. So obviously if you do want to do a down payment, then your cost would be more depending on how much you choose to put down. Okay, next we have the FHA loan. Now this is going to include the closing costs. So like I said before, I'd rather you budget for it and not need it than not budget for it and need it. Okay, so for the FHA loan, we're looking at $30,350 to purchase a $450,000 home in 2022. All right, last but not least, we have the conventional loan. Now this is with the 5% down payment and the closing cost included. So total, we're looking at $37,100 to purchase a $450,000 house as of right now in 2022. So I hope this video was helpful. If you like the information in this video, hit that like button. If you want to see more videos like this, hit the subscribe button. My name's Adam Narreau, and I will see you in the next one.